Sports betting brethren, hey, bring it up, and thanks for stopping by. My name is Boyd, and I'm a sports betting market analyst with OddsJam.com, and we're here to bring you all the tools, all the resources to make data-driven, positive EV bets with all the tools at OddsJam. So make sure you get over to check that out. We'll talk more about some of the promos and things we have a little bit later on. But today we're talking about how to bet on the NBA. The NBA is a very special bird, and we're going to talk about how to help yourself out with some heuristics and different things to help you understand the markets and make a little money betting on hoops. Let's go. Okay, guys, here we go. Let's jump in. Betting on the NBA. And betting on the NBA is definitely a special bird, as I mentioned, because, it's not like Major League Baseball where it's games every single day. It's not like NFL where there's games once a week, for the teams. It's unlike any other sport relative to, maybe the comparisons NHL or hockey. But here we are at the homepage of the NBA for OddsJam, and I think this is a good place to start. I think line shopping and understanding the market is very key in the NBA. And one thing you can do to help yourself out is to have a quick schedule to understand, for planning purposes, to plan on what the market could be doing. I think every bit of this is a good tip just to understand that, if a team's coming off a back-to-back, road type situation, and just understanding why these markets are going to depict what they're showing. Because if you understand that maybe a team is coming off a travel situation, it's going to help you understand maybe why the line is the way it is, instead of just jumping in and going, wow, I can't believe it's so low, I better jump on that. Well, maybe, pump the brakes a little bit. So I think understanding the markets, the line shopping is very key, and having a tool or a schedule to plan, look ahead, and understand sort of what the teams are going through is going to help you understand the markets better. Now, when you understand the markets, again, you can jump over here to OddsJam and pull up all the information and all the data that you want to. So we're going to pull up a game just at random. Let's jump into this Nuggets-Lakers game, only because I'm here in Denver, so we have some Colorado connections here. We'll just pull this up and take a look at the overall market, just kind of get an idea of what's going on initially as you do your homework and do your research. Now, of course, you guys know, as I preach daily, you can come to the positive expected value tab here, and these are no-brainers. I mean, this is kind of, OddsJam 101. Get to the positive EV page. I've pulled a lot these days from the arbitrage page, but we're going to do a little bit different, video today on the NBA just to help you with some heuristics and help you put some methods and systems in addition to obviously and clearly using OddsJam as this tool to understand the markets. But here, just kind of getting an understand of where the OddsJam perfect line is here with the money line, with the point spread, and with the total. Just kind of getting an idea overall, and then understanding the direction that it might go later in the day. And one thing I do want to point out is OddsJam has the ability in your settings to get the injury reports, and the injuries come out and can dictate player props, which I'll do a separate video on NBA player props, but you can dictate kind of the overall outcome of the game. And so that's something to keep your eyes out for, and set that up when you get your OddsJam subscription set up, because that's very key to have that information and data. If you know that injuries are going to come out throughout the course of the day, but also mainly later in the afternoon, we have a lot of people jump in early, and a lot of people jump in here because they want to take advantage of a line. And the frustrating thing for them is, late in the day, a particular player or players are out, they're resting, they're doing the old workload rest thing. And again, if you kind of understood the workload from the schedule, you might have anticipated that and might have saved yourself some money that you can't get back because you put the bet in early. I'm always recommending jumping on the markets early, get a good price, and worry about it later. But that's something to consider and think about initially here, just in your overall setup, is using this. Just start to get the temperature, start to get the gauge of kind of where things are going, and understand where the markets might be and why they're there. All right, guys, this next section here, again, is trying to help you understand some of the tools and some of the heuristics of betting in the NBA. And I think in order to understand the markets, kind of what the market's telling you, you need to know momentum, motivation, and math. I think math is number one. Certainly that's why OddsJam is providing all this data that's tied to the markets, right? It's markets and math, period. But if you know that, say, Portland is, hitting ATS 68% of the time, and they're going up against the Mavericks, who are actually one of the lower end teams of actually at the very bottom hitting 30.8%. You have a team here that can't not, cover the spread, and you have a team here who, is very rarely covering. So if you understand those markets and understand what's going on, it'll help you understanding, motivation as well. You have teams and matchups that come across each other that, maybe the motivation is not there for a particular game. And it's going to help you understand why maybe the line is there. And I think that's very big, as well as momentum. Okay, momentum is something also that you have some of these teams, again, as I mentioned, they may have a lot of momentum built up. Maybe they've had a 3 or 4 game homestand, and they get up a lot of momentum, and that could help carry into the next road trip. So I think understanding momentum, math, and motivation is very key in all this. But we'll follow that up with always jumping over the positive expected value page. Positive EV page is going to, show advantages at all times of the day throughout the market. And again, you'll see this really kind of go crazy closer to tip-off time. But again, this is a game here right off the bat using the positive EV page. You have the Sixers -9 over at Fox at +105. Incredibly great market width. So this is something that, a game that we'd want to jump on right away just because we like everything about it. It's over the 3%, 3.5% edge. Warriors seem to be pretty banged up. Talking about momentum and motivation, I think things with an injury they have going on right now is going to be detrimental. But open this page up and you can see the rest of the market. Where this is mid morning, so there's gonna be a lot more information coming out a little bit later. But this is one that you probably want to jump on fairly quickly. And if you can get +105, why wouldn't you see some of the other locations, -125, -120, -130? So this would be a good bet to jump on. And again, how you do it. This is how you identify winning mathematically profitable picks, is using the positive EV page and then using your fundamental information to correlate and see if the story's matching up with what the odds makers are providing. And then finally, use that arbitrage page. Arbitrage is going to, show you some markets that maybe you didn't think about. As mentioned, arbitrage is sometimes what I'll do to look for plays, not necessarily an arbitrage play, because this is a very, very very low percent on an arbitration situation. So I would never, waste my time or money, trying to go after 0.24%. Usually something around 4, 5, 6, 7 and above is a good move. But this is going to give you some other data from OddsJam's tools that help you understand maybe where you want to be. This kind of correlates with that other play, Golden State under 106.5 as far as the total team points. So this, kind of putting the pieces of the puzzle and mystery together here. So something that, if they're going to be under, not scoring as much, obviously Sixers probably going to be scoring more, covering that spread is, seemingly where you can find the clues and find the data and find the tools to your profitable wagers here in the arbitrage page, and also certainly the positive EV page. So there you go. All right, guys, I want to wrap up this NBA, how to bet NBA games, understanding the markets, understanding that the top 4 or 5 teams that are outperforming expectations are going to typically have a higher ATS or a higher against the spread coverage, which helps you understand the markets back at OddsJam. And using that information at OddsJam, having them show you the good value on those particular teams can be a nice edge, as well as teams that are potentially getting overs or unders consistently, and using that information just fundamentally, again, to apply to the markets. And you can apply the motivation, the scheduling, and all those things to understand the complete market. So when you see value at OddsJam, you can help yourself. The other side of things, you can see the teams that are underperforming, the teams that are overrated, underperforming, but people are paying a premium on just because they are who they are. And I think you can find some value in those areas as well. So again, understanding sort of your targets and understanding when you can attack and see value, and using OddsJam as a tool, whether it's positive EV, whether it's hunting on your own for the value at the slate of games that they have, covered throughout the OddsJam site there, or the arbitrage page. So many locations, many different ways. And I think having a system to help you line shop, to help you apply these principles towards the markets and the data-driven information is going to help you. So get over to OddsJam. I've got a 7-day free trial for you if you haven't taken advantage of that yet. Links are down below. And appreciate your viewership. If you have any questions, leave them as well. And I'm happy to help you go make some mathematical money.